Okay, hi ladies. Welcome again to your second installment to Adele's cooking guide to how to put a ring on it. Now, let's just go back a little while. Our first installment was the macaroni and cheese. I apologize for leaving out the temperature of the oven. The oven is 350 until it's golden and bubbly, till all your milk and everything is bubbly. You can see that. If you put foil over top or clear a wrap, then foil, take that off and let the top of the cheese crisp a little bit. Well, today, what we're cooking today is a pan-seared salmon over a rice pilaf with oven-roasted asparagus. This is for the guys that care about, their health and they don't want to eat heavy. Ladies, we also have to learn how to cook healthy for our men also. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the rice. I have my water already boiling, so I'm going to take a rice, about a cup of rice. Doesn't, depending on how many you're serving. If you're going to do this dish, I suggest that you try it out first before you try it out on someone else. So let's put the rice in. We're just going to stir that. We're just going to go ahead and let that cook. Now, what you're going to do with this rice is you're going to cook it until it's al dente, not all the way cooked, because we have to mix up our vegetables and everything to cook it a little bit. So don't cook it all the way until it's mushy or completely soft. Just a little bite will do. Okay, next what we're going to do is do our grilled asparagus. Well, oven roasted asparagus. First we're going to take our asparagus. I'm just going to use 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it in some olive oil that I have in this pan already. Just put a little garlic. Just get that, if you can see it. So what we're going to do is mix the asparagus in some olive oil and some garlic. Just a little pinch of salt and pepper. And as you can see, it's got the garlic on it and it's all oiled up. Now ladies, before you put this in the pan, you have to cut the bottoms off your asparagus. Okay? Don't put the whole thing in there because the root is kind of tough. So you want to cut it to about here. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to place this in the oven at 350. We're going to let this cook. Okay ladies, now we're going to start sauteing our vegetables for our rice pilaf. We're going to put the fire on about medium and we're going to put in our olive oil. Okay? Along with the olive oil, we're going to put in the butter. Okay, now we place the butter in the pan and we're going to let the butter melt a little bit. Okay? Now what I did first is I chopped up some vegetables. I have here some red peppers and some green peppers. They are wonderful together. Okay, we're going to put that in there. All of that. We have some celery. Some diced white onion, because it just gives off such a wonderful aroma. I wish you guys could smell this. It is awesome. Then we're going to put some seasoning. What we have here is some parsley, some oregano, and a little dried basil. I'm going to put that, just going to put that all in there. Okay. And of course, our fresh garlic. Okay. And some salt and pepper. And you don't want to get a lot, just a little sprinkle to taste. That looks good. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to let that simmer until it's a little translucent. The onions are a little brown. We're going to let that simmer for right now. Okay. Now while that's simmering, our vegetables are simmering, we're going to come over here and we're going to take our salmon. Okay. So we're going to put some salt and pepper on the salmon. Then we're going to take the garlic. We're just going to kind of put a little bit on there. Now what I do is I just rub it in. Rub it in the back and the front, so all the flavor just gets right on in there. Okay, now I'm going to take the salmon and roll it in some olive oil. Like I said again, you can use olive oil, canola oil, whichever, peanut oil, whichever is good for you. Okay, now we're going to come over here to the pan, a saucepan. Well, now what I want you to do is get your saucepan kind of hot. You don't want to pan sear it in a cold pan, it will not sear. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that pan get a little hot, and then we're going to take our salmon in and then put the salmon into the seared pan. Okay, now that our pan is hot, we're going to take the salmon and we're going to place it in there. Just going to take the little bit of oil that we have left and put it in the pan. Now if you can hear that, that is sizzling. It is sizzling. Okay. We're going to stir up our vegetables. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Only if you could smell it. It smells wonderful. Now, the salmon. Alright, Seared, you're going to take it and flip it. Now, for the searing part, you want your fire on high, okay? But just watch it, ladies. So if you're new with this, you just want to keep an eye on your fire. Okay, ladies, now that our salmon is seared perfectly. Now, salmon is a little tricky because you can eat the salmon medium rare, rare, well done, or medium well. If the person wants it rare, what you're going to do is you're just going to sear it on both sides really fast, stick it in the oven for about 1 minute, and then take it out. Salmon cooks really fast. I cooked it medium well, okay? But right now it's just medium. It's still pink inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this bake for about 5 to 10 minutes in the oven, just to get it a little tender. And you're going to put that all the way to just the 300, okay? We're going to just turn it down so it can cook all the way, the rest of the way through. Okay, now as you can see, our vegetables are done. They're nice and roasted, and the onions are nice and brown. And again, boy, if you could smell it. We're going to take our rice. We're just going to pour that right in there. We're going to take a little pinch of salt and pepper. And we're going to mix it. Man, that looks good. Your man will love this. Nice and fresh vegetables cooked up in rice. It's very healthy. It tastes good. He's going to marry you for sure. There you go. Now once we get it all mixed, okay, get it all mixed, we're going to take a little parsley, sprinkle that in there, mix it up, make it nice and pretty. We're going to let that sit again and to finish cooking all the way through. Okay, ladies, now to top this wonderful meal off, we're going to make a white wine butter sauce. Okay, so we're going to put butter in the pan. Okay, we're going to melt that butter. Okay. Now, if you notice, I use a lot of fresh garlic. It's healthy, you know, it tastes good, it smells good. We're going to put a little bit of garlic in there. Some parsley. Now, what you use is like, depending on how much sauce you want, some like a lot of sauce, you can use anywhere between 1/4 of pat of butter or 1/2 stick of butter for it, okay? Again, we're going to put a little salt and pepper. Now when that's simmering, now ladies, remember, do not let your butter get brown. Do not let it burn at all. So when it starts to bubble like that, it's time to put in your wine. Okay? Any white wine will do. It could be a Sauvignon Blanc that I used, or regular Pinot Grigio, whichever wine you like to. And if you want a non-alcoholic wine, you can do that too. Now to thicken this up a bit, what I did is I took a pat of butter and I laid the pat of butter in the flour and just rolled it over again. Rolled it over it just to thicken it up a bit. As you can see, look how thick and creamy that's getting. And believe it or not, ladies, that's done. Okay, well now we're all finished. Let's see what it looks like on a plate. Okay, now we're going to plate our rice. You're just going to take a dollop right there in the middle. Man, that smells wonderful. I'm going to get that right center because whether you know it or not, ladies, appearance means everything. And if it looks delicious, 9 times out of 10, it's going to taste delicious. Now, as you can see, I placed my salmon on top of the rice. Doesn't that look beautiful, nice and brown and golden? We're going to take our roasted asparagus and lay that right on top, right like that. Now for our sauce, we want to get all of it. See how nice and creamy and buttery it is? We're going to get all of the sauce. And we're going to lay that right on top. That looks yummy. Let's get all the garlic and everything. There we go. Doesn't this look absolutely gorgeous, ladies? We're going to get a man to taste it out. Let's see how it works. Now with this dish, lady, we're going to pair it with a white wine. And we're going to let a man test it out. Go.
Delicious.